Hi there. I wanted to talk to you about the power of story. Um, I think we could probably do another whole piece on storytelling. I think a big part of a leader's role is in storytelling and controlling the narrative that is out there. And there's so much narrative that is out there that is unconscious to us. It's not within our awareness, and we need to bring it into our awareness. I was working with an exercise I sometimes do with leadership teams. I was working with the leadership team of a plant. It was a manufacturing plant, and I realized there was something going on there. There was something unsaid, and so I got them into a shape of a team and said, "Is there anybody here that's gone, but is actually very much still present?" And about half of them who'd been around quite a while said, "Oh yeah, that's easy. The old plant manager." So it was instant. And I said, what's the impact of that? And there was all these stories that came out. And basically there were unwritten rules that you didn't do certain things. And this guy hadn't been there for 3 years. But still, there was a narrative that you didn't do certain things because he was a bit of a monster by real command and control freak by all accounts. So you can just see there these uncontrolled narratives, and I really wondered about sharing this story because it's very personal. I haven't found another story that demonstrates this so powerfully, and it's something I've been asking certain clients to do, and that is to look at your own personal stories in your own family. And because they will be having an impact on your leadership, they will have an impact on who you have become as a person and how you lead. And I shared this story with my supervision group, and looks of horror came on their face, which I found funny. And that was a learning in and of itself. But it's a story that my mum enjoys telling, or at least used to enjoy telling, was about my grandmother. So my grandmother was born in 1899. And so as a young woman, this is probably just pre-First World War or around the time of the First World War, she was in the outside washroom where they didn't have washing machines. They had to boil water, and she had boiled water, and she was moving the pan full of boiled water, and she spilt it onto her foot. And had an old-fashioned leather boot, no laces. It was you did it up with buttons. But it was such a bad scalding, the leather attached to the skin. That's how badly my grandmother's foot was scalded. And the question that then my mother said, "What do you think her grandmother, my great grandmother, did?" And when I asked people this, well, I had to get her to the doctor, or pour cold water on her, or maybe scold her. She picked up a broom that was nearby and smashed the handle of it across my grandmother's face, breaking her nose. I used to wonder how she got a broken nose, and that was it. So my mum finds that story funny. It's clearly horrifying that a mother would do that to their child in such an awful lot of pain. But what that meant, my family story, is, well, you don't create a fuss. You don't complain. You tough it out. You get on with things. And that's the narrative that's there in the family because of that story. Now, as I said, I wondered about telling this story because it is personal. It's part of my family, but I think it just really demonstrates there's a story you're told as a kid, it goes in, and there's a set of rules there. And you live by those rules unconsciously until one moment you suddenly realize, oh, right, okay. I'm maybe not very I don't have much self-compassion, because in my family, self-compassion was not a thing you did. Um, so you will have stories like that. You will have stories like that from your past, from your childhood, or told in your family, and you probably haven't processed what they mean. Maybe you have. Maybe you've done a lot of work on that. But the chances are they're just unconscious to you until you actively process them. And so what does that actually mean for my own personal rule set? And what does that mean for me as a leader? So that's what I want to talk to you about. Have a reflection on your own stories and what they mean for your own leadership. Thank you. See you next time.